Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Was Reborn as Issei in Highschool DxD Part 5. Chapter 45, Izuku's POV. At night after dealing with Nana and my mindscape Rias, Asia and I were sleeping together with both of them grabbing my arms. But something happened that set off danger sense, making me wake up along with Rias waking up as well, because of an enormous pressure we had never felt before. Rias jumped off the bed and stood in front of the window. Asia also got up after feeling something. When I looked down from the window, there was someone looking up and I was pissed. Freed. The one who had a sickening and evoking smirk was the white-haired priest, Freed. That bastard. What happened after that? What happened to Kiba? He waved his hands at us. A fallen angel. When Ria said it with a voice filled with hatred and clicked her fingers. She instantly got into her uniform and opened the room's door. Yahoice-kun. Asia Tan. Looks like you guys are in a bad mood. Were you doing alright? Ara, were you guys having hex? Then I'm sorry. Not reading the atmosphere is my charming point. When we got out of the house, the shitty priest talked to us with a weird speech. What do you want? I asked him with venom in my voice, but he just shook his shoulder with a laugh. Was that pressure from before coming from this guy? No. I could feel something weird from this guy, but that was it. That heavy pressure surpassed that of a high-class devil, that it made my danger sense hit right through the roof. But you seemed like she noticed something and looked up. There was someone floating in the sky with the moon behind him. It was a fallen angel who had his black wings growing out from his back. 1, 2, 3, he had 10 black wings as this fallen part of the card class. It was a young man who was wearing a black robe with detailed accessories. He smirked after seeing Butchu. This is our first time meeting, daughter of the House of Gremory. The crimson hair is beautiful. It reminds me of your brother that I hate enough to make me want to vomit. Nice to meet you, one of the leaders of the fallen angels, Kakabiel. And my name is Rias Gremory. I will also add one more thing. We in the House of Gremory are a being who are closest to the Mau, and also the furthest from it. If you are here to discuss about politics with me, then it's no use. Wait, this is Kakabiel, the leader of the fallen angels. But then I saw him holding something in his arms and then I smelled a scent. No, this is a gift. He then threw the person he was carrying at me. Oh, I reacted immediately and tried to catch it. The one who dropped into my arms was Irina. She was covered in blood, she was breathing heavily, her whole body was covered in wounds. Did this happen after she went to chase Freed? What happened to Kiba and Zenobia? Hey Irina. Even though I called her, she reacted painfully and didn't respond. This looked bad. She came into my base. So I gave her a welcome. Well, I couldn't catch the other two. Kakabiel said it with a laugh. From his story, Kiba and Zenobia escaped. Asia. I put Irina on the ground and made Asia heal her. There was a green light coming out of Asia's body, which covered Irina. Irina's expression started to soften and she started to breathe gently. She didn't have her Excalibur. What happened to it? Kakabiel continued to talk without caring about my doubts. I wouldn't do something as stupid as talking with a Mau. Well, if I gape and kill his little sister, then Surzich's anger will be pointed towards me. That wouldn't be bad. But you glared at Kakabiel with disdainful eyes. So what is your motive for contacting me? Kakabiel answered Butchu's question with joy. I will be rampaging in this town using your base, Ku Academy, as the starting point. Then Surzich's will also appear, right? What? If you do something like that, the war between God, fallen angels and devils will begin again, you know. That's what I'm wishing for. I thought that Michael would start a war if I steal the Excalibur, but what he sent were grunt exorcists and 2 holy sword wielders. It's boring. I'm really bored indeed. That's why I'm going to rampage at Surzich's sister's base. See? It looks fun, right? Butchu made a sound with her tongue. It was proof that she was really pissed. But he's trying to start a war with someone like the Michael himself. What's the point of it? You battle freak. Butchu said it with hatred. But Kakabiel laughed with joy. Yeah. That's it, I was bored after the war between the 3 sides. Azazel and Shamsa weren't that keen on the next war. They then started to collect something boring like sacred gear and started to do some weird research. Something useless like that won't be of any use to us. Well, it's a different story if it's a boosted gear like the one the brat over there has. But it's not something you can find so easily. Kakabiel then looked at me, making me feel that enormous pressure, but I just glared at him that my eyes changed to be more draconic. Are you guys also after my sacred gear? I said it with rage inside my voice that it was getting hard for me to keep my cool. At least I'm not interested in it. But Azazel might be. His collection hobby is crazy. Azazel? I'm governor of the fallen angels. Is he collecting sacred gears? Either way, I'm going to be starting a battle involving the holy swords, Rias Gremory. For starting a war, a school where both little sisters of Surzich's and Leviathans go to. It must be filled with demonic powers so that I can enjoy the chaos. It's also the best place to release the real power of Excaliburs. It's a good place for the battlefield. He was talking nonsense, he was seriously crazy. Ayahaha, isn't my boss the best? His craziness is the best. So I'm also eager to do it. He even gives me treats like this. What Fried took out was an Excalibur. He had one of them in each hand, he also had two of them on his hips. The one on the right is Excalibur Rapidly. The one on the left is Excalibur Nightmare. The one on my hip is Excalibur Transparent. I also received Excalibur Mimic from the girl over there. I also feel like getting Excalibur Destruction that the other girl has. Hi, am I the first person in the world to be in possession of this many Excaliburs? I also received an element from the Geezer Balba that allows me to wield holy swords. Right now I'm in a hyper mode that allows me to wield all of them, you know. I'm invincible, I'm wonderful, I'm the strongest, ha 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 ha. Fried laughed as if he found it really funny. I was shaking, feeling an bubbling amount of rage deep inside that it was getting harder to let out. Balba's holy sword research. It's the real deal if it shows this much result. To tell the truth, it seemed suspicious when he joined my plan. So Kakabiel and Balba are together. What are you planning to do with the Excaliburs? But you asked him. Kakabiel moved his 10 black wings and moved his body in the direction of the school. Ahaha, let's have a war, little sister of Surzich Lucifer, Ria's Gremory. Flash. Fried took out an item to blind us with our sight taken away for a while, but by the time it returned Kakabiel and Fried were gone. Ice, we are going to the school. Yes. I said it while summoning Mikishimi with my eyes still dragonic. The big battle against the leader of the fallen angels was about to start. Later, Ria-senpai. We have covered the school with a large barrier. With this, unless something disastrous happens, there will be no damage outside. Saji reported the current situation to Butchu. We, the Occult Research Club and the Student Council, had gathered at the park located right in front of Ku Academy. Only Kiba wasn't there. Where are you, Kiba? While Irina was injured, she was transported to Kaichu's house. She avoided the worst case scenario thanks to Asia's power. Saji was explaining about the barrier to Butchu. Possibly because of the spanking he got earlier, he stood unnaturally. According to his story, Sona had gathered everyone from the student council and put a big barrier on the school after she heard the situation from Butchu. It was a measure used to keep the things occurring inside from leaking outside. The opponent was one of the leaders of the fallen angels who appeared in the Bible and books. This is to keep it to the minimum. To tell you the truth, if Kakabiel were to fight seriously, not only this academy, but the whole region would be annihilated. Adding to that, he has already gotten ready for that. My servant has seen him releasing his power at the school grounds. When I heard that, I clenched my fist, so it meant he was someone that serious. He seriously was a troublesome fallen angel leader. He was going to destroy my town because he wanted to do what he wished, which was to start a war. Don't mess around. Don't buck around, you shitty fallen angel. I won't let you do as you please. I'm planning to live and enjoy my life in this town with Rias, Asia and everyone, and I am going to protect them. My anger was at its max, that it set off Ofa a bit that I couldn't control my anger. But Sona continued to explain, which made me try to calm down. My servants and I will continue to place the barrier to reduce the damages. I want to minimize the damages as much as possible. It's hard to prevent having our school getting damaged. But it looks like we have to, since it's the leader of the fallen angels who is moving. Sona made a sharp eye and looked in the direction of the school with eyes filled with hatred. She was probably directing it to Kakabiel. Then it was confirmed that the school would get damaged. The school we go to. Thank you, Sona. We will do the rest from here. Rias. Our enemy is a monster with strength above ours. It's still not too late. We should get your Oni-sama. Butchu shook her head. You also didn't call your Oni-sama. My Oni-sama is your Oni-sama loves you. Surzich's sama will definitely move. So. I have already informed Surzich's sama. Akeno-san said it over Butchu and Kaichu's words. Akeno, Butchu criticized. But Akeno-san had an angry expression. Rias. I know that you don't want to cause problems for Surzich's sama. It happened in your territory. In your base. And it happened after the family problem. But it's a different story if the leader of the enemy appears. It is a problem that surpasses the level that you can solve. Let's borrow the strength of Amau. It was my first time seeing Akeno-san telling Butchu off. But just as I thought, Akeno-san calls her Rias during private times and talks casually towards her. Butchu seemed like she wanted to say something. But she took a deep breath and nodded. Akeno-san put on her usual smiley face after she saw her. Thank you for understanding the situation, Butchu. Sona-sama. Surzich's sama's reinforcement will be here in 1 hour. 1 hour, I understand. In that time, we, the student council, will vow to continue to place the barriers in the name of Citri. Rias seemed like she had made her decision as well after hearing Sona's decision. So 1 hour. Now my servants. We will be on the offensive. We will go inside the barrier and draw Kakabiel's attention. Unlike the battle against Phoenix, this is a battle of life and death. Even so, I will not forgive you if you die. We will survive and continue to attend that school. Yes, we replied to her with energetic voices. I will leave the rest to you. I know that, Saji. You should worry about the damages on your ass. Don't say that it feels like it will hurt even more if you say that. How about your ass? Her love certainly hurts. Well, the situation right now is the same as having our asses on fire. No. I can't laugh at that. So Kiba isn't here yet. Yeah. I believe that he is safe. Yeah. I also believe in him as well. Saji and I put our fists together and prayed for our missions. It was a decisive battle. Leave it to me, partner. Our opponent is Kakabiel. He's not an insufficient opponent. Let's show him. Toshinori young Midoriya, it's about time you set off your limits. Izuku, really, you think I can finally let loose and go 100% on this feathered bucker? Toshinori, yes, and along with the boosted gear and with you using Black Whip and creating a weapon out of it, it's time to go beyond. Izuku, yeah, this fallen better be prepared with the power of a dragon. I thought of this with glaring eyes. Chapter 46. Izuku's POV. We went in straight from the main gate. The moment I entered, I used promotion to promote from pawn to queen, so my power increased, and using Ofa full cowling at 50%, I'm done fooling Arend, since I'm allowed to use 100% of Ofa, thanks to Toshinori, who gave me permission. But right now, I became speechless after seeing a bizarre scene. In the middle of the school field, there were 4 swords that were releasing extreme lights while floating. Having the swords at the center, there was a magic circle spread in the whole school field. And there was an old man located in the middle of the magic circle. Bulba Galilei. That geezer. What was he planning to do by using the magic circle? What is this? I spoke out my doubt. I'm going to make the 4 Excaliburs into one. Bulba said it as if he found it amusing. Bulba. How much longer will it take for the Excaliburs to merge? There was a voice from up in the sky. When all of the club members looked up, there was Kakabiel, who had the moon as a background. He was sitting on a chair up in the sky while looking down on us. It won't even take 5 minutes, Kakabiel. Is that so? I will leave it to you. Kakabiel moved his eyes from Bulba to Butchu. Is Surzich's coming? Or is it Serafol? In the places of Oni-sama and Leviathan-sama, we. Swish bang. After the sound of the wind, there was a sound of explosion that echoed throughout the area. The sound came from the place where the gym was nothing but wreckage at the area. Boring? Well, that's okay. It will be entertaining. There was a big pillar made of light where the gym was located. Are you scared, partner? Braig directly talked to me. But I didn't feel scared. In fact, I felt nothing but excitement after seeing that it was not a matter of being beyond us, it was totally on a different level to us. Yeah. It's on a different level. He is so strong that his name has been recorded in the Bible since ancient times. He is the one who survived the battle against God in the past. Mao. Izuku Dryag, be honest, can we win? Can I beat him? If it becomes serious, you need go beyond your limits with Ofa, plus that danger sense will help along with Black Whip, but if we will beat him, even if I have to turn most of your body into a dragon. Even if you can't beat him, I will give him damage that will freeze him for an hour. You can leave the rest to the Mao. So he's that powerful, alright then. I looked at Kakabiel with a glare, getting ready. Now. I will have you all fight my pet that I brought from hell. Kakabiel clicked his fingers. Then from the depths of darkness there was a sound of the ground rumbling as it came closer to us. That thing was something that far exceeded my expectations. No, it probably was 10 meters tall. It had a large body. It had 4 legs, and each leg was thick. Also, the claws that grew from each leg looked so sharp that I felt chills behind my back. The eyes that were glittering from the darkness were red. From its mouth, what it had were dangerous-looking fangs. The fangs were close to each other, and from the gaps there were white breaths pouring out. The animal which resembled it the most was a dog with 3 heads. Wait, oh shit. Its howl was so loud it felt like it shook the ground. Cerberus. Riaz ate it with a voice filled with disgust. Cerberus, I said while looking at the creature. Yes. It's a famous creature that has the nickname of guard dog of hell. It lives in the gate to hell, no to the underworld. But to bring it to the humans' world. Damn, this is bad. Toshinori. Don't be a bitch. Izuku, oh, just shut up. We have to do it, we will blow it away. Ice. Right, boosted gear. Boost. I glared at the Cerberus with my eyes feeling more dragonic. Get ready, you dog, I'm gonna take you with my fist. But then Riaz put her hand on my shoulder, making me turn towards her. Ice. This time, we will back you up. Izuku, what do you have in mind? I will have you support us. You will be transferring your boosted power to us. Boosted gear is a sacred gear that powers you up and also increases the power of your comrades in a team battle. Increasing the power of comrades by using the ability of gift. I powered down Ofa and just sighed. If I were to transfer the boosted power to her and Akeno, who were stronger than they originally are, and also in terms of healing, if I were to increase Asia's ability, then the effect would become absolute, but will it be effective against Kakabiel? Even if we can't give him an enormous amount of damage, it's a gamble, but we might gain the power to block his attacks. By the way, Ice. Including your power-up, how many times can you transfer your powers? When I heard her question. Right now I can only transfer it more than 4 times, but I won't take the risk of being a liability if I reach exhaustion. I see. So we can't waste it, but boost yourself to give us as much power as you can handle. Akeno, but you got her wings out from her back and flew up into the sky with Akeno-san. Cerberus jumped after making a growl. I am. One of the heads looked towards Butchu who was flying and breathed out fire aiming for her. Do naive. Akeno then stood in front of Rias and froze the fire instantly. Take this. Rias jumped from behind Akeno and released an enormous black block of demonic power. The blow from the power of destruction. I am. The other head of the monstrous dog shot out a ball of fire Ria's demonic power, and the fireball of Cerberus clashed against each other violently. Then the other head shot out a fireball. The second fireball assisted the first one that was getting pushed by Ria's strike. The strength of fire increased, and it started to push Ria's strike. Then Cerberus tried to shoot another one but it didn't happen. I have found an opening in you. Bang. Hanako who jumped from beside me did a heavy blow onto Cerberus's head. It made a loud sound. Here's another blow. When Akeno pointed her fingers up, there was lightning created in the sky. She then pointed her fingers to Cerberus and flash. After a single flash, Cerberus was surrounded by violent lightning. Akeno gave an extra special lightning to the Cerberus. Ria's blow also added to that but Cerberus's body didn't get terminated and it just struck the side of its stomach. There was dark black blood coming out of the monster dog's stomach. There was smoke coming from it. But it still had a shine in its eyes. It could still move even after receiving those attacks. And my power up, I'm feeling it and it's almost there reaching its limit yet. Just then my danger sense went off making me turn to see another Cerberus. There's another one. Another Cerberus appeared from the darkness. It made a howl and it came towards me and Asia. I summoned Black Whip using it to grab Asia to get her close to me. Ice, just use the boost to increase your powers. She gave me the permission to use the boosted power. But I didn't need to and all I did was smile. Izuku took you long enough. One of the heads of the Cerberus that was coming at us went up into the sky. With a cut to one of its head and the person who did it appeared the one who wielded a long Excalibur. It was Zenobia. The head of the Cerberus that was cut turned to dust. I have come to back you up. After saying that, Zenobia went on slashing towards the Cerberus's torso. The Cerberus howled in pain because it lost one of its heads. The Cerberus's torso split in half after receiving a fatal strike. There was smoke coming out and the Cerberus started to vaporize. It was the effect of the Holy Sword. The strike of the Holy Sword. It gives critical damage to creatures. Zenobia thrust her sword deep into the Cerberus's chest to finish it off. That moment, the Cerberus's body turned into dust and disappeared. My gauntlet started to flash making me wonder that was until Drake talked to me. It's telling you that it has reached the stage where the Cerberus can be defeated if you transfer it to Ria's Gremory or Himejima Keno. Izuku, seriously? It means that both you and the sacred gear are evolving day by day. It has made possible what you desired. As you can't tell the power difference between you and the opponent, you didn't know how many boosts you needed. It has started to tell you now. I can deal with that later, but right now I shouted towards Rias and Akeno who were flying up the sky. Rias, Akeno, I have got enough power to take down Cerberus. Hearing that, both girls looked at each other and nodded. Both of them came down to me at the same time. Ice, you increased the strength of the cross and holy water in the battle against Razor, right? Izuku, yeah I did but at a moment. So it's possible to increase both of us at the same time, then please transfer the power to Akeno and I. Greg. It was all of a sudden that time, but is it possible? Yeah. If it's just two at the same time then it's possible. Except that I can only transfer 70 to 80% of the boosted power. I explained that to Rias and Akeno with the two of them okay with it. I think that would be enough. Yes. We can do it. Please. Butchu and Akeno-san replied at the same time. I put my hand on Butchu's and Akeno's shoulders and activated my sacred gear. Let's do it, boosted gear. Transfer. Heartbeat. An enormous amount of power went to Butchu and Akeno-san through my body. They instantly gained an enormous amount of demonic power. Both of them were shocked at the amount of power that was overflowing from them. We can do this. Akeno nodded to Ria's daring smile. Akeno, yes, thunder resound. Akeno-san pointed her fingers to the sky and started to control the thunder. Her fingers were aimed towards the Cerberus. The Cerberus tried to run from the spot as if it predicted the upcoming thunder. Countless swords pierced through the Cerberus's limb. The swords were coming out from the ground. I suddenly laughed. I won't let you escape. The person who appeared was our knight. It was Kiba's sword birth. Izuku, Kiba, you picked a good time to show up, man. The thunder went down at Cerberus after it lost its movement due to the demonic swords. The lightning was so big that it couldn't be compared to the one before. The lightning covered more than half of the school grounds. The howl of the Cerberus was overshadowed by the sound and its body turned to nothingness from the lightning. Because of its major power-up, the potential demonic energy got used up rapidly responding to the strength of it. Even if it was Butchu and Akeno-san, continuous shots would have been hard for them as well. The moment the Cerberus disappeared, Butchu pointed her hand towards Kakabiel. Take this Kakabiel. Ooh. There was a gigantic mass of demonic power that shot out from Butchu's hand. It's huge. It was more than 10 times bigger than the usual shots she fires. It gained high velocity and went towards the leader of the fallen angels, who was sitting up in the sky. The power of destruction fell on top of Kakabiel, but he just stretched one of his hands to the front and I felt something wasn't right. He was blocked the shot and then, boom, Kakabiel faced his palm towards the sky. The shot that was fired by Butchu changed its direction and went up to the sky and disappeared. Kakabiel showed his malicious smile after seeing the smoke coming out of his hand. I see. Ria's Grimory's power would grow this much because of the power of security. Interesting. This is very interesting indeed. Kukuku. Kakabiel started to laugh by himself as if he find it funny. It's complete. Tiba's pav. Bulba's voice. Then the 4 Excaliburs that were placed on the center of the school field started giving out incredible amounts of light. What is it? What was happening? Kakabiel started applauding. The 4 Excaliburs are going to become one. It started giving out divine light that spread throughout the school field. Because of its brightness, we covered our faces with our hands. When I stared at the center of the school field, I saw that the 4 Excaliburs were put on top of each other. Excalibur that was originally 1. It was split into 7, but 4 of them were going to become 1. When the bright lights were gone, there was one holy sword at the center of the field, giving out a blue-white aura. Because of the light created by the Excalibur when it turned into 1, the spell on the ground is also complete. This town will collapse within 20 minutes. The only way to dispel it is by beating Kakabiel. Bulba said something astonishing. I became speechless. Of course. Because the town I live in would collapse in less than 20 minutes, the magic circle spread around the whole school field and it started glowing and gathering power. Did it activate? Are you serious? Is the town I live in, is the town we live in seriously going to disappear? Lies, that's a lie. We didn't have the time to be saying something so easygoing like we have to withstand it until Surzich's-sama and the others arrive. By the time Mayu-sama's reinforcement would have arrived, this town would already have been blown away. Freed. Kakabiel called out the name of that shitty priest. What's up, boss? The white-haired boy priest emerged from the darkness. Use the Excalibur in the circle. It shall be the last entertainment. Fight while using the Excalibur that is turned into 1 from the 4 Excaliburs. Yeah. Geez. My boss sure uses people recklessly. But it's like I'm so honored to use the Excalibur-chan that has become super wonderful, something like that. I will just chop some devils now. Freed put on a crazy smile while holding the Excalibur located at the center of the school field. So he could use it. He did say that he received a factor from Bulba. Zenobia then spoke to Kiba. Ria's Grimory's knight. If the cooperation is still valid, let us destroy that Excalibur together. Is it okay? Zenobia laughed fearlessly at Kiba's words. At worst, it won't be a problem if I collect a fragment of the Excalibur that is acting as the core of it. Since Freed is wielding it, that is a holy sword, but it isn't a holy sword. Even if it's a holy sword, it's the same as any other weapon. It changes depending on the person using it. That is a sort of heresy. Kukuku. Someone was laughing at the duo's conversation. It was Bulba. Bulba Galilei. I am a survivor of the Holy Sword Project. No. I am the one who was killed by you, to be more precise. I have continued living by being reincarnated into a devil, Tiba said calmly to Bulba. But his eyes were filled with flames of hatred. Depending on Bulba's answer, it might become an explosive situation. Who? The survivor of that project. This is such a misfortune. To meet you in a Far East country like this. I feel fate. Fufufu. What a disgusting way of laughing. It was like he was making a fool out of us. You see. I like holy swords. I like them so much that they come out in my dreams. Possibly because my heart was fascinated by the legend of Excalibur since I was a child. That's why when I found out that I can't use Excalibur I went into despair. Bulba suddenly started talking about his life. A story about the geezer's past. I held admiration for those who can wield it because I couldn't. That feeling became so powerful that I started an experiment to create those who can use them. Then it was complete. It's thanks to you and the others. What? Complete. You disposed of us after finding us to be a failure. Tiba lifted his eyebrows seemingly in doubt. From Kiba, Butchu and Zenovia's story, I heard that the experiment failed. Didn't they dispose of them because they found them to be a failure? But Bulba shook his head. I realized that there was an essential factor needed to wield holy swords. So I used the numerical value of the factors to investigate its capability. Most of the test subjects had the elements, but they didn't have the numerical value needed to wield the Excalibur. Then I reached a conclusion. Is there a way to take out the elements and gather them? I see. I understand now. The thing that is put inside the holy sword wielders when they received a blessing is. Zenobia seemed like she learned the truth and grit her teeth hatefully. What did she mean? I was in doubt and Bulba continued to talk. That's right, holy sword wielder girl. We take out the holy elements from those who have them and crystallize them. Just like this. Bulba took out an orb that was giving out light. It was a shiny orb. It has the so-called holy aura in it. But this, the research on holy sword wielders improved. Even so, those fools from the church banished me for heresy and took away my reports on the research. By looking at you, I see that the project was succeeded by someone. That Michael. He made me look like a criminal and this is the result. Well, it's that angel we are talking about. Even if he takes the elements out from the test subjects, he wouldn't go as far as to kill them. That part only would make him more human than me. Cuckoo. Bulba laughed pleasantly. I see. Even an idiot like me understood now. A present, to create holy sword users artificially, it required a sacrifice. So Kiba and Zenobia were victims of the project started by Bulba. You killed my comrades and took out the elements needed to wield the holy swords. Kiba asked Bulba with his voice filled with killing intent. That's right. This orb is from back then I just wanted to live. I escaped from the research laboratory by myself and that was the only thing I thought about while vomiting out blood and running. I got out of the forest and met a little girl, a high-class devil, while the light of my life was disappearing. What do you desire? The crimson-haired girl asked while she held me, who was on the verge of death. I just mumbled one word while my vision was blurring. Help. My life. My friends. My future. My friends. My power. My talent. I just wished while having all of these thoughts. Those were my last words as a human. To live as a devil. That was the wish of my master and also my wish. I thought that it was fine. But I couldn't forget my hatred towards the Excaliburs and my comrades' vengeance. No, I could have forgotten about it. I have the best comrades now. Ice-kun and Kaneko-chan. They helped me, who was driven by vengeance. I thought about it while searching for the holy sword wielder. There are comrades who would help me. I thought that isn't this already enough for me? But if my former comrades' spirits are wishing for their vengeance, I can't let go of my demonic swords that carry their hatred. But my thoughts were just released. Don't worry about us. At least you live. My former comrades weren't wishing for me to deliver their vengeance. They weren't wishing for it, but it's not like everything is solved. Yes, it hasn't ended. If I don't take down the evil thing right in front of me, there will be a repetition of the incident that happened to us. Bulba Galilei. As long as I don't kill you, there will be those who would suffer the same fate as us. HMPH. It's been said for a long time that research always comes with sacrifices. Haven't you realized it yet? You certainly are evil. Debayaya cut down both Freed and Excalibur. Ice-kun. You are the knight of the Gremory group and my comrade my friend fight Kibayaya. Don't waste their feelings and spirit. You have helped me. Even if you won't profit from it. Even if you might have received punishment from our master. You don't do it, you have to finish this yourself. Surpass Excalibur, you are the servant of Ria's Gremory. My knight will not lose to a mere Excalibur. Udo-kun, I believe in you. Ria's Butchu Akeno-san. Udo-senpai. Kaneko-chan. Please do your best. Everyone. Ahaha, why are you crying? You were singing with joy with the ghost-chan. It's really a nuisance. It's totally the worst. You know I hate that song. Just listening to it makes the hair on my skin crawl. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm totally at my limit. I'm going to cut you into pieces and calm myself with this ultimate Excalibur that has merged four of them. Freed Zelzen. My comrade spirits reside within you. I can't allow you to do evil deeds with them any longer. These tears I have are tears of determination. I will become a sword. My comrades who have merged with my spirit. Let us overcome it together. The feelings we couldn't say back then, the wishes we couldn't fulfill back then, right now, right here. I shall become the sword of Butchu and my comrades. Please respond to my feelings now. Sword rebirth. My sacred gear and the spirits of my comrades mixed. It started to align and formed a shape. The demonic power and the holy power were combining. Yes, the sensation. My sacred gear is my comrade is telling me that this is sublimation. It was giving out divine light and an ominous aura. What appeared in my hand was a single sword. It's completed, everyone. Balance breaker, sword of the betrayer. You shall receive the power of this sword that has both the power of light and demonic powers with your own body. I ran towards Freed. My trait as a knight is speed. Freed tried to grasp my movement with his eyes, but I got out of his sight by doing a few feints. Bing. Even so, Freed blocked my strike. Seriously. You are quite a skilled exiled exorcist. But the aura that was covering his Excalibur was being erased by my sword. That sword surpasses the originator of holy swords. He said in a shocked voice. If that was the true Excalibur, then I could not have won against it. But that Excalibur cannot cut the feelings of me and my comrades. Hi. Freed clicked his tongue and stepped back after he pushed me back. Stretch. His Excalibur started to twist as if it were alive. It moved randomly and came towards me with intense speed. The ability of Excalibur Mimic I see. It has 4 of the abilities. Then his sword split into 2 at the tip of the blade and started to come at me with Godspeed. This is the ability of Excalibur rapidly. If I remember, its trait was its velocity. It accurately tried to pierce me from every direction, but I blocked each strike. Your killing intent is easy to read. If I know which direction the killing intent is coming from, parrying it is very easy. Why isn't it hitting? You are supposed to be the unrivaled holy sword Sama, weren't you supposed to have lots of legends of being the ultimate sword? Fried shouted. I could see that his expression was filled with both enjoyment and impatience. Then I have to add this as well. The tip of the holy sword disappeared. Transparency Ferriman. This is the power of Excalibur transparency. The ability to make the blade transparent. But if he doesn't change the direction of his killing intent, even if I can't see the blade. Dine Jin. The transparent sword and my sword made sparks. I was parrying all of his attacks. Fried narrowed his eyes and made a shocked face. Yes. Keep him there like that. Zenobia suddenly intruded. She held the holy sword in her left hand and put her right hand in the air. Saint Peter. Saint Basil the Great. Saint Denis. Holy Mother Mary. Please hear my voice. She started to chant something. What was she trying to do? I was in doubt, but the space in front of me got distorted. Zenobia put her hand in the middle of the distorted space. She put her hand in and pulled something right out of the dimensional gap. What appeared was a single sword that gave out a holy aura. In the names of the saints whom reside within this blade, I will release it. Durandal. It's a sword that is so famous that it is on par with Excalibur. And I have it that, in terms of slashing, it is the ultimate sword. Why does she have it? The Durandal. You were not the wielder of the Excalibur. Not just Balba, even Kakabiel couldn't hide his astonishment. Wrong. I was originally the wielder of Durandal. I was also chosen as the holder of the Excalibur. That's all. Zenobia made a stance with Durandal. Two-sword style along with the Excalibur. Absurd. According to my research, we haven't reached a stage where someone can wield Durandal. Of course. Even in the Vatican, they haven't made someone who can wield Durandal artificially. Then why? Unlike those common artificial holy sword wielders like Irina, I'm a natural-born wielder. Alba became speechless at her words. Unlike us, Zenobia was someone who was blessed to naturally wield the holy sword. Durandal is a sword that ravages beyond what people can imagine. It cuts anything it touches. It doesn't even listen to me most of the time. That's why I have to keep it in another dimension, otherwise it would be dangerous. Even I, the holder, has a hard time with it. Now, Fried Zelsen. Thanks to you, we can have the decisive battle between Excalibur and Durandal. Right now, I'm shaking with enjoyment. Don't die in a single strike, okay? At least use the Excalibur to its fullest. The blade of Durandal started to give out more holy aura than the Excalibur Fried held. That aura had more power than my holy demonic sword. Is that even allowed? It became a situation like this, you shitty bitch. I don't need any of that for this setting. Fried shouted and moved his killing intent to Zenobia. I couldn't see with my eyes, but he probably slashed his transparent sword towards her. The keen, but the single side slash, the Excalibur shattered. Because of the pressure given by the swing of Durandal, there was a big hole in the school field. So it's just a broken holy sword, huh? It can't even compete with my Durandal. Zenobia made a sigh while looking bored. What an incredible power. It can't even be compared with her Excalibur destruction. Are you serious? Are you really serious? The legendary Excalibur-chan is shattered into pieces. Horrible. This is really horrible. Was it wrong to use something that was broken from the start? The shallowness of humans. The foolishness of the church. I want to grow up. While taking a glimpse of it, his killing intent became weak and I went right at him. He also couldn't respond to it. Checkmate. He tried to block my holy demonic sword with the remnants of his Excalibur, but Akin. A shallow shattering sound echoed. The sound of the Excalibur crumbling. Did you see it? Our powers have surpassed Excalibur. I cut down Fried as soon as I shattered the Excalibur. Fried then fell down, while blood came out of the wound I made from his shoulder to the side of his stomach. I won. We surpassed the Excalibur. I gripped the holy demonic sword hard and looked up to the sky. Rather than an inexpressible feeling, the feeling of losing my aim was greater. It felt like the only reason I was living, the only reason I was allowed to live, disappeared. Oh, holy demonic sword. Impossible. The polar opposite of two things cannot merge. Alba Galilei made a strong expression. That's right. It hasn't finished yet. As long as I don't defeat him, the tragedy will continue. We cannot allow other people to meet the same fate as us. Alba Galilei. Prepare yourself. I pointed my holy demonic sword at him and tried to slash at him. Now my comrades. Let's finish it with this. Let's finish everything. I understand now. Holy and demonic. It will be an explanation. If the beings that represent the two become unbalanced, then not only the Mayu, but the god has also. Stab. A spear of light pierced through Balba's chest, who seemed like he realized something. This is. Oh. Balba went down after throwing a solid amount of blood. I went up to him to confirm his state. And he had already passed away. Balba. You were remarkable. The reason you went up to that conclusion proves that. But, I don't mind whether you are with me or not. I could have done it by myself from the beginning. The Kabiel who was up in the air was sneering. The one who killed Balba was Kabiel. Ahahahahahahahaha. The Kabiel laughed loudly and landed on the ground. An overwhelming pressure. The leader of the fallen angels finally stood in front of us while sending out an intense aura and confidence. While smiling fearlessly he said, "Increase the power of Sekiryu and transfer it to someone else." He made an order full of confidence and Butchu got enraged. "Are you trying to give us a chance? Don't mess around. Don't mess around. Hahaha. You guys are the ones who are messing around. Do you guys think you can defeat me?" Thus being stared at with those eyes felt like my body would get pierced. My whole body was controlled by fear. This is the pressure of the fallen angel that has been recorded in the Bible since ancient times. There was sweat coming from my hand that was holding onto the holy demonic sword and the cold feeling continued up to my fingertips. This shivering couldn't be compared to the one I had in the battle against the House of Phoenix. Battle to the death. You couldn't stand in this place unless you were prepared to die and you had to accept the fact that it wouldn't be weird to lose your life. I have to change my motivation. Even if my grudge disappeared, the battle hasn't. My comrades wished for my survival. I need to live on. I will go through this battle. I will live on as a devil and as a part of the Gremory group. Please lend me your strength. The holy demonic sword created by me and my comrades' feelings. Ice. Activate your sacred gear. Ice looked towards Butchu and can only sigh and answered Butchu's order. Boost. Along with a mechanical sound, a red light emanated from his sacred gear. A few minutes from then. We couldn't move a single step. We were waiting for Ice-kun's boost while not moving an inch. We could have gone towards the fallen angel if he let his guard down. But the fallen angel didn't show a single chance while he just stood still. I could only imagine getting countered by him if I went against him. So we couldn't make a fatal move. Most likely, everyone here was in the same situation. I could only wait for the power of Sekiryu to increase while swallowing my saliva and trembling. It's here. Ice-kun's gauntlet emitted a brighter light. The boost had probably reached the limit. Now? Who will you transfer it to? The Kabiel asked with an interested voice. The one who put their hand up to Kabiel's question was Butchu. Ice, yes. Ice-kun started to transfer the power at Butchu's call. Both of them held onto each other's hand. From their clasped hands, I could feel the aura of trust and the unspoken love they had towards each other. The light on the jewel passed onto Butchu and the red aura that covered her body increased drastically. I felt the great amount of aura from her with my skin and an enormous amount of power was created within her hand. An amount that seemed like it wouldn't even leave a single speck of dust. If you were hit by that, the majority of people would perish. But her opponent was. Hahaha, good, that flow of demonic power. The demonic power I can feel right now is that of an ultimate class devil. A little bit more than you would reach that of a Mayu. Ria's Gremory looks like you have a talent equal to that of your brothers. The fallen angel leader laughed as if he was truly enjoying it. His expression was colored in ecstasy. He was feeling pleasure for war. From Butchu's hand, the highest amount of the block of demonic power was shot out covered in the power of destruction. On. It made a shock wave that felt like it shook the ground and the powerful shot was heading towards Kabiel. With his hand with both his hands put in front of him, he tried to deflect it. Interesting indeed, Mayu's sister. On Kabiel's hand, the energy of the fallen angels, the power of light gathered. The Kabiel took Butchu's shot head on. His expression surpassed that of a normal one and looked dreadful. Butchu's shot started to get pushed back and started to lose its shape. He couldn't be defeated even with that amount of demonic power, but Kabiel also wasn't uninjured. His black robe was tattered in places and his hands were bloody. But his ability to block demonic power certainly decreased. Possibly because of the attack she just performed, Butchu's breathing was ragged. It would be impossible to shoot out the same attack. Also, because of the amount of demonic power she just used, shooting another one would be, what was left was for Ice-kun to boost his powers again and transfer it to another person, but who could beat Kabiel? Akeno-san? Zenobia who held the Durandal? Even I, who had reached balance breaker, could only give him a minor injury. It might have been a different story if I was used to this balance breaker a bit more. But for me who just achieved balance breaker, no. It's not the time to say that. I cannot allow Butchu or any of my comrades to die. I will fight till my body perishes. Lightning. Akeno-san sent the lightning towards Kabiel who was concentrating on Butchu's attack. But her lightning dissipated with a single movement of Kabiel's wing. Would you stand in my way, the one who inherited her power from Barakiel? Do not put me in the same group as him. Akeno-san widened her eyes and got enraged. She continued to use lightning, but they were all deflected by Kabiel's wings. Barakiel is the leader of the fallen angels. A thunder user who has the alias Holy Lightning. In terms of basic fighting ability, he is said to be on par with the viceroy of the fallen angels, Azazel. And Barakiel is Akeno-san's. Bacabia laughed loudly after nullifying Butchu's attack completely. For you to become a devil, hahaha, you have pleasant servants. Ria's Gremory Sekiruite, the leftover of the Holy Sword Project, who reached Balance Breaker, and the daughter of Barakiel, you have weird tastes, just like your brother. I won't forgive you for insulting my brother Armau. More than that, the insults you made to my servants will require your life. Bacabia laughed with his nose at Butchu's anger. He then said provokingly, then try to destroy me. Mayu's sister, the owner of Welsh Dragon Crimson Hair Ruin Princess, the one whom you are up against, is someone who has been an arch enemy of the devil since a long time ago. If you don't see this as a chance, then your reputation will be looked down on. Bacabiel. I don't know how much my holy demonic sword can go against him, but I have to do it. Step. It seemed like Zenobia, who was behind me, moved. When she went past me, she muttered, we will attack at the same time. After hearing that, I also moved ahead. I put strength into my sword and went on slashing at Cacabiel with Zenobia. The one who slashed at him was Zenobia. Cacabiel created a sword of light with his hand and blocked her using one hand with it. HMPH Durandal, unlike the Excalibur that was already broken once, that light is the real thing. Boom. The air shook and there was a buzzing in my ears. Cacabiel emitted an airwave from his other hand and made Zenovia's body float. Then Cacabiel kicked Zenovia's stomach. Zenovia flew back with an anguished cry. It depends on the wielder. Girl, you still can't control Durandal. The previous wielder was someone who had unrivaled strength. Zenobia adjusted her stance in the air and landed on the ground. She then went on slashing towards him once again. I also continued slashing towards him at the same time. Bacabiel, I will eliminate you with my holy demonic sword. I'm not allowed to lose anyone anymore. Oh, attacks at the same time from a holy sword and a holy demonic sword. Interesting, good indeed. Come, you can't defeat me unless you do that much. Bacabiel created another sword of light with his other hand and clashed with our swords, my holy demonic sword. Zenovia's Durandal. He was taking on our attacks as if it was nothing. Even in terms of swords, Cacabiel was above us. There. Kaneko-chan thrust her punch from behind him. Naive. His black wings turned into sharp blades and cut up Kaneko-chan's body. Her body fell down to the ground while blood came out of her body. Kaneko-chan. Hey, looking away while fighting will easily get you killed. I let my guard down because of the damage Kaneko-chan took and Cacabiel's sword of light came at me. Wow. The crack appeared on my holy demonic sword. The strength of the solidness depended on my thinking. If I lost my concentration for a moment, then for that period of time, the hardness of my sword will go down as well. He grasped into that slight instant. Zenobia and I were helpless against the shockwave created by Cacabiel's body, which sent us flying. I somehow fixed my stance, but Zenobia and I were breathing hard. We can't win. That's what went through my mind. The power difference between us is absolute. Even though I reached Balance Breaker, there is still this much difference. The leader of the fallen angels. He's this strong. No, I have to put that thought aside. We have to win. We can't survive unless we win. I will win and live on. Asia-san, and Ice-kun went to Kaneko-chan's side. Asia-san's sacred gear activated and started to heal Kaneko-chan's wounds. That's a relief. With this, Kaneko-chan's life will be safe. Bacabiel, it's not over yet. I put strength into my holy demonic sword and stood up again. The crack on my sword disappeared and I went forward slashing towards him with no flaws. You still come at me? Alright, come. Holy demonic sword. I surrounded the fallen angel by making swords covered with holy and demonic aura. With this I made my opponent stuck in that position. The only thing left was to attack then. You think you've captured me with this? The 10 wings of Cacabiel, who was smirking, started to become like swords and began breaking the swords around with ease. It didn't work. I went forward slashing at him from the front. But the fallen angel didn't flinch at all and he stopped my holy demonic sword with just 2 fingers. Is this it? Bacabiel sighed. My holy demonic sword that had been stopped couldn't be moved at all. I created another holy demonic sword, but that was also stopped with his other 2 fingers. It's not over yet. I opened my mouth wide and imagined to create a holy demonic sword around my mouth. The third one I held the grip with my teeth and moved my neck to the side roughly. It seemed like he didn't think of the third strike. He let go of my swords and stepped back. Did he receive damage from that attack just then? When I checked Cacabiel, there was a single scratch on his cheek. There was a bit of blood coming out of it. Even with that attack, I could only give him that much damage. So this was the power of one of the top echelons of fallen angels. Everyone here was making expressions of despair and breathed violently. Only Cacabiel, who was at an advantage, was smirking. But seeing that even after losing the masters you serve, you devils and followers of God can still fight. Suddenly Cacabiel spoke. What was he trying to say? What do you mean? But you asked with doubt. Cacabiel started laughing aloud as if he found it truly amusing. That's right, I totally forgot. The truth wasn't revealed to you lower guys. Then I will tell you. In the war between the 3 sides, not only the Yondai Mayu, but also God died. What did he just say? Everyone here was shocked and couldn't believe what he just said. It's normal for you guys to not know about it. Who can say that God has died? Humans are an incomplete bunch. Without God, they cannot control their hearts and obey the laws, you know. Even us, the fallen angels and devils couldn't tell this to those below us. You won't know where the information about God will be leaked from. Even among the three powers, only the people at the top and certain people know about it. Though it seems Balba noticed it earlier. God didn't exist anymore. No, that couldn't be, it was impossible. Then what did we believe in while living in that institute? After the war, what was left were the angels who had lost their god, the devils that lost their Mau, and the majority of high-class devils, and the fallen angels who lost most of the fallen angels apart from the leaders. So it wasn't a mere exhausted state. All of the factions fell so low that they had to rely on humans to continue their generations. Especially the angels and fallen angels that could only continue their generation by mating with humans. Fallen angels can increase if the angels fall. But pure angels can't increase their numbers after losing God. Even pure devils are rare, right? Lies, it's a lie. Slightly further away from me, Zenobia seemed like she started losing strength. She had a panicked expression that was too unbearable to look at. The active believer. God's servant. A person who lived by serving God is her mission. If the existence of God was rejected and she lost the means to live, it would be natural to become like that. Even I would be biting my lips thinking what my life meant. The truth is that another big war wouldn't happen unless you do it on purpose. It means that all three sides went through hell in the past war. Everyone decided that it was meaningless to continue having a war if the start of it all, God and the Mau, were dead. Even that bastard Azazel declared that there is no second war after losing the majority of his men in the war. It's hard to bear, it truly is hard to bear to lower your gun once you already shot it. Don't buck around. Don't buck around. If we continued on from there, we could have won. Even so, is there any value in fallen angels who can only live by inviting humans who possess sacred gears? Bakabiel declared his argument strongly. His face was expressing anger. The real truth made an impact on us more than we thought. Asia Sant covered her mouth with her hands, opened her eyes wide, and her whole body shook. Even if she turned into a devil, her belief didn't disappear. God doesn't exist. God is dead. Then the love we were given by him is. Bakabiel answered Asia Sant's doubt with a laugh. That's right. It's normal that there is no love from God and no divine protection from him. God is gone already. Michael is certainly doing well. He's taking the place of God and is taking care of the angels and humans. Well, if the system used by God is operating, then the prayer to God, the blessing of God, and exorcism would function. But if you compare it to the time God was present, the number of believers decreased. That holy demonic sword Brad over there was able to create the holy demonic sword because the balance between God and the Mau broke. In reality, holy and demonic powers cannot merge. If the ones who rule the power of holy and demonic powers, God and the Mau, disappear, then lots of unique phenomenons occur. Then the reason why my holy demonic sword was created was no coincidence. It turned out like that because God didn't exist anymore. What sarcasm. Hearing Kakabiel's words, Asia San dropped onto the floor. Hey Asia, pull yourself together. Ice Kun held her and called out to her. It wasn't weird for her to get shocked. The majority of her life involved serving God. She sacrificed her life because she thought God existed. A lot of things must be happening inside her. Even if I did rebel against God, the majority of my life also involved believing in God. Even my comrades I felt complicated. Ignoring us, Kakabiel put his fist up in the air. From here on out, I will start a war. One will take your heads as a gift, even if it's only me. I will continue from where we left off. I'm going to show Surziches and Michael that we, the fallen angels, are the ultimate beings. Lucifer. Michael. Both of them were enormous existences as recorded in the Bible. Kakabiel was trying to take on something like that. He had that much power. We were trying to fight someone like that. We couldn't win. He was totally in a different league from us. His motives were totally beyond us. He was someone who we shouldn't have tried to take on in the first place. Even so, I tried to go towards him after grabbing onto my sword. But there was a bright red light that came into my sight. It was Ice Kun and he looked pissed. Izuku's pav. Don't buck with me. You think I am gonna let you destroy my town? Buck that my comrades but you and Asia just for you selfish motives. I am gonna be our harem king, bitch. Fuck. Brag. Ha 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 ha. Oh man, you really said it now, partner. I sure your predecessors are laying as well. Izuku, damn it to hell, I hate this. Fibber, you might be trying to look cool, but that's not it. Ice Kun. Kukuku. Harem king. Is that what the secretary desires? Then do you want to come with me? You can become a harem king right away. I will snatch beauties as we walk past. You can make love to them as much as you want. I suddenly froze there on the spot while trying to keep my composure. I won't be deceived by sweet words like that even, though that's the shit. Fibba WH, what was that pause just now? No, it can't be Ice Kun. Ice geez wipe your drool, why are you like that even in a situation like this? But you also got angry with a blush on her face. I'm so sorry. It seems like I'm really weak against the word harem. If you like girls that much, then I will do a lot of things for you after we return home alive. I stopped for a bit when I heard that, and in my mind I heard the oh shit from Drake and Toshinori. I walked forward with my hair covering my eyes. Izuku Rias just know after this I'm going to enjoy it. But that the jewel on the boosted gear glowed brighter than before, along with me screaming with Ofa activated at its maximum, causing the air to form, pushing back my comrades a bit. Tibas Pav. I'm done holding back no more. Ice-kun started smirking while having a glare on his C, the same one who showed towards the ones who hurt the people close to him. An intense red light that made me blink. I could feel an enormous power coming from his sacred gear. Get ready Kokobiel Ka, I'm about to take you down, then I'll be sucking on the Butchu's nipples. With a reason like that, the sacred gear increased the power by answering the thoughts of the possessor. The boosted gear responded to Ice-kun's lecherous thoughts and was trying to release its power. Was that seriously okay? Welsh Dragon Butchu also had red cheeks and seemed embarrassed because he said it loudly. I truly felt sorry for her. It's the first time I saw a Sekiryuite who releases its power just by the mere thought of sucking a woman's nipples. What are you? Who are you? Bakabiel asked while narrowing his eyes. Ice-kun said it up front with his chest put forward. I'm the pawn of Ria's Gremory's group Haidu issei, remember that, Kakabiel, I'm the possessor of a boosted gear with power you can only dream of, and I'll be the one to take you down. Until a moment ago, this area was filled with despair. But after hearing Ice-kun's shout, it mysteriously gave me energy. It truly was absurd. Since I got involved with Ice-kun, I started to get strength from weird places. I was not a hot-blooded character. But that was also okay. But you, Akeno-san, Asia-san and Kaneko-chan who were supposed to be injured, but everyone made a stance against Kakabiel. We could fight. We still hadn't lost. Yes, it was not like we couldn't win, yet everyone's feelings became one. Then, Yufufu. Interesting. A sudden voice came from the sky. It was not from anyone here. The first one to realize it was Vice President Akeno-san, who was strong at reading different kinds of energy flow. She suddenly looked up. The next one to realize it was Butchu. Both of them looked up to the dark sky at the same time, and the next was Ice-kun, who had a serious look on his. When I saw him deactivate his power for some reason I was in doubt, but I soon realized it after that. Shivers. An unknown fear and nervousness ran throughout my whole body. That thing fell from the sky while overwhelming us with its presence and the power difference, which made me despair. Flash. It descended while cutting the abyss sky by sending out a white light. If it came down at that velocity, it would shake the ground and make a crater. It would spread dust for sure. But that didn't happen. There was a white thing in our sights. A white thing was glowing, which didn't even have a slight shadow in this dark night. It was floating off the ground by an inch. A white plated armor. There were jewels across various locations on the armor. It also had armor on the face so we couldn't see the expression of this person. The 8 wings of light growing from the back were giving out a divine glow in the dark night. But I was familiar with the person covered in white armor. It had a different shape and color, but it was similar, it was identical to the boosted gear scale male. Possibly everyone aside from me who was at that place at that time must have thought the same thing. So all of us understood at the same time. We understood what the thing in front of us was. Vanishing Dragon. The first one to say that was the leader of the fallen angels, Kakabiel. Just as I thought. The one opposite to the Welsh dragon, the Vanishing Dragon. My whole body trembled. The feeling of my heart being grasped by it stopped me from moving. At the same time I was fascinated by the white appearance that emitted a mysterious light. Beautiful. My heart was taken by it instantly. Kakabiel made a sound with his tongue by the presence of the white armor. One of the longinus, divine dividing. If you are already in armor mode, it means that it's in the balance breaker state. Divine dividing scale male. Just like the boosted gear, it truly is an annoying thing. Vanishing Dragon in balance breaker form. So you were attracted to the red. Vanishing Dragon. If you get in my wa. Before Kakabiel finished his sentence, his black wing went up into the air. Then there was blood coming out of him. It's like the wing of a crow. It has a disgusting color to it. Azazel's wing is much darker and has the color of everlasting darkness, you know. I couldn't catch his movement with my eyes. I was certain that a white object attacked Kakabiel. The Vanishing Dragon had a black wing in his hand. From his voice, was the Vanishing Dragon a young man? Why you my wing? Kakabiel became enraged because his wing was plucked off, but the Vanishing Dragon laughed quietly. It's a symbol that you have fallen. There's no need for wings for those who stoop down even below the earth, right? Are you still planning to fly? Vanishing Dragon, are you opposing me? Kakabiel created a countless number of spears of light in the sky, but Vanishing Dragon wasn't intimidated by it and said clearly, my name is Albion. Divide. I heard the sound, and the aura around Kakabiel got reduced immediately. Half of the spears of light in the sky also vanished. One of the abilities of my divine dividing. It halves the power of those I touch every 10 seconds. Your power will become my power. You don't have time if you don't defeat me quickly, you will become so weak that you can't even beat a human. Just like in the legend. The ability of the Sekiryuite doubles the power of the possessor and can transfer it to others. The ability of the Hakuryuku 1-8 takes the power of their opponents and make it theirs. With the remaining wings, Kakabiel tried to go towards the vanishing dragon, Albion. But he couldn't catch him because he wasn't able to keep up with the movements that could be said to be as fast as the speed of light. Then one of the echelons of the fallen angels who was overwhelming us was being played around with. Divide. Damn. He tried to attack Albion with a spear of light and a sword of light, but Hakuryuku swung his arm to the side and vaporized them. While Kakabiel was having a hard time fighting, his powers were getting halved. Divide. After a few sounds, Kakabiel's movement fell so low that even I could take him on with ease. Albion sighed. Already the power of a middle-level fallen angel, huh. Boring. I thought I could have a bit more fun. Albion disappeared from my sight and went towards Kakabiel while creating tracks of light. Thrust. Albion's fist went deep into Kakabiel's stomach. Kakabiel's body bent a lot and he vomited on the ground. He didn't even have a trace left of the overwhelming opponent from before. Impossible me. What? You said a common phrase of a grunt. Impossible. Me? What's after that? This can't be. Is it? Albion laughed as if he found it truly amusing. I was told by Azazel to take you back even if by force. You acted a bit too much. So that's how it is Azazel Azazeli. Thrust. Albion's punch hit Kakabiel's face. Slip. Kakabiel crumbled down and fell onto the ground. The fallen angel who had 10 wings went down. Albion put the defeated Kakabiel on his shoulder. Looks like I have to carry Fried as well. There are things I need to ask him. We will deal with him after that. Albion walked to Fried who was on the ground and carried him with his arm. He then tried to fly up while spreading his wings of light after retrieving the two. But then something blocked his path and that someone was Ice-kun drawing green lightning with his hair styled up having a serious look on his face. Are you ignoring me, huh, white one? The voice I heard for the first time. The voice came from Ice-kun. His gauntlet was glowing. So you were awake, red one. Albion's armor jewel was also glowing white. Were the ones residing in the jewels communicating? We finally met, but in a situation like this. That's alright. It's our destiny to fight one day. Things like this happen. But white one. I can't feel the hostility from you like before. Red one. Your hostility is incredibly low as well. Looks like both of us have things that interest us more than fighting. That's how it is. We should be having fun by ourselves for a while. It's not bad like this sometimes, right? Let's meet again, Drake. That would also be fun, huh? See you then, Albion. The conversation was between Sekiryuite and Hakuryuku. Both of them gave a farewell, but Ice-kun stepped up and seemed unsatisfied. Hey, if you're gonna leave at least tell me your name since you're my fated rival. Ice-kun was serious like he was a different person right now, but the possessor of the vanishing dragon left, saying such a thing. You need strength to understand everything. Get stronger, my rival kun, I will fight you one day. He turned into a white light and flew up. Everyone became speechless at the outcome no one had predicted. The magic circle of destruction that Kakabiel spread had already disappeared. It finished. Even if someone intruded, this town was saved. Then the corpse of Bulba got into my sight. Maybe it hadn't ended yet because there was someone who took over his research at the Vatican headquarters. When I confront that person, what will I do with this holy demonic sword I still don't know. But now yes, just for now. Knock. Someone hit my head. When I turned around, it was Ice-kun who smiled. You did it, Casanova. So that's a holy demonic sword. It looks beautiful since the white and black is mixed. He was looking at my holy demonic sword with interested eyes. Ice-kun, well, let's skip the complicated stuff for now. Anyway, we can say that it ended for now, right? Also the thing about your comrades. Yeah. Thank you, Ice-kun. You thought and acted for someone like me. Tiba-san. We can do club activities together again, yes? Asia-san asked me with a worried face. She was worried about me, even though she should be having a hard time after the existence of God was rejected. I really thought that she was truly a kind girl. When I was about to say I'm okay. Udo. But you called my name. But you welcomed me with a smile. Udo. I'm glad you returned. Also to reach balance breaker. I am proud. But you. I to everyone in the club most of all, I betrayed you who saved my life once I can't find the words to express my apology. But you's hand patted my cheek. But you always comforts me like this. But you have returned. That is enough. You can't waste the feelings of your comrades. But you I will promise you once again. I, Kibayudo, will protect you and my comrades for the rest of my life as the Knight of Ria's Grimoires group. Yufufufu. Thank you. But you can't say that in front of Ice, okay? When I looked, Ice-kun was looking the other way, but he said this. I also want to protect Butchu by becoming a knight, but there isn't anyone who can become Butchu's knight other than you, so take responsibility and finish that task. He said it while not looking at me, but I can tell he has a shy face. Yeah. I know, Ice-kun. Now. Butchu's hand was covered in a red aura making a dangerous sound. What's happening, Butchu? Butchu smiled at me while I was in doubt. Udo. It's a punishment for acting by yourself. 1000 spanks. The reinforcements from the Mayu arrived 30 minutes after everything ended. During that time, I was spanked while Ice-kun laughed on the ground. It was really painful, but it felt like I really came back. Izuku's paw. I just laughed, but then I sighed while looking the sky. Izuku, so that's my fated rival. How well, they're not wrong, but also they're not right either. Break care to elaborate, partner. Izuku, they say I need to be stronger to be able to reach them, they just don't know that I'm still holding back. Once I said my piece, I looked towards Ria's while I looked at me. Izuku, oh but you remember I'm going to enjoy doing a lot of things with you. I said this with an innocent look on my face that it made her pale a bit, thinking that she was seeing an image of Akeno near me with a real Akeno simply giggling. Chapter 47. Izuku's paw. A few days after the incident with Kakebiel, Asia and I, who came into the club room, were shocked at seeing someone who was familiar sitting on the sofa. Peiseku Yuite, the girl with the green mesh, Zenobia, is there wearing Ku Academy's girl's uniform. Izuku, Zenobia, this is a surprise, were you here? Then black wings grew out of Zenobia's back. Honestly, I can't even be surprised anymore. I found out that God is gone. So I turned into a devil as a self-abandonment. I received a night piece from Ria's Gremory. It seems like I'm not that great, well Durandal is. So I was able to become a devil with one piece. And I was also placed in this school. From now on, I'm a second-year student and also a member of the Occult Research Club. Let's get along, Ice-kun. Zenobia says, while breathing with her nose. I can only laugh with a bit of sweat pouring from my head. Izuku, I'm not sure using a cute tone while having a serious face helps Zenobia. I copied Arena, but it looks like it's not easy. But reincarnating Butchu. Is it alright to use such a valuable piece? Well. Having a Durandal wielder feels reliable. With this, it's a birth of the two swordsmen, along with Udo. She said this while turning her head away from me, which made me just chuckled remembering what I did to her when the two of us were alone in my room. That seems like she is enjoying it. But certainly having a swordsman who wields a legendary holy sword, Durandal, feels reliable. Even for the raiding game, our opponents would be devils, so the holy sword would release its fury against them. Yes. I'm a devil now. I can't go back. No, maybe this was a good thing. But since God is gone, my life was a failure. But serving under a devil who was once my enemy is ... even if she is a sister of a Mao. Zenobia starts to hold her head down while mumbling something. She's receiving some damage because she prayed just like Asia. By the way, where's Arena? Arena returned to headquarters along with the corpse of Balba and the 5 Excaliburs including mine. The fragments that act as the cores were retrieved in that state. So the mission of retrieving it was accomplished. If they have the cores, they can use alchemy to make the holy swords again. Hiba and Zenobia destroyed the Excalibur made from 4 of them. But the fragments of the original Excalibur are safe. Was it alright to give them your Excalibur? More like, was it okay for you to betray the church? I have to give them the Excalibur back just in case. Unlike the Durandal, there are other wielders that could be chosen. Having Durandal is enough for me. When I mentioned the absence of God to them, they became silent. So I became an outsider for knowing the absence of God. The church hates outsiders and heresy very much. Even if that person is the wielder of Durandal, they will cut them off. Exactly the same way as the incident with Asia Argento. She laughed at herself. Does the church usually go that far to get rid of those people seen as heretics? They are quite extreme. Arena was lucky. Even if she wasn't in the battle because of the wounds, she ended up not knowing the truth. She has a stronger belief than me. If she found out about God, I don't know what would have happened to her. The more modest a Christian is, the more painful it would be if they found out the truth. In the worst case, it means that their whole life was rejected. If that happens, you won't know what would happen to humans. Except, she was really disappointed that I became a devil. I couldn't tell her that it was because of the absence of God. It was an awkward farewell that we had. Maybe we might be enemies the next time we meet. Zenobia said it while narrowing her eyes. How did Arena feel when she returned home? Butchu confirms that all the club members are here. She then says. The church made contact with us devils. More precisely, the Mao talk about this incident. They said, we would like to make contact with you because of unclear and dishonest actions of the fallen angels, even though we feel unsatisfactory about this. They also apologized about Balba because it was their mistake for letting him escape in the past, so they feel unsatisfied. Well, we are enemies anyway. Well, maybe we should feel satisfied because at least they apologized about Balba. But this school is truly terrifying. Because there's another sister of Mayu attending this school. Zenovia says it while making a sigh. There's another sister of Mayu, I'm guessing it's Ona, since she's another high-class devil in Kuo. When I looked at Butchu, she nods her head to confirm it. Well, that's that, but right now the gym and the school ground destroyed by Kakabiel was repaired by people related to Mayu-sama. I have to admire the power of devils for fixing it in just over a night. The truth about this incident was sent to the god's side and the devil's side by the viceroy of the fallen angels, Azazel. The theft of the Excalibur was an action taken by Kakabiel only. The other leaders didn't know about it. He planned to break the tension between the three sides. Because he tried to start another war, he was put in the Cocytus for eternity in a frozen state. But you explained it to us. Then Kakabiel won't be ever coming outside then. Well, that's good. Though it ended with the intervention of Vanishing Dragon. They stopped the rampage done by one of them by sending someone from their organization. That time, the Vanishing Dragon was already in its balance breaker form when it descended from the sky. It's not an incomplete one like my own. But when we meet this rival of mine, we'll be surprised on what I can actually do. There would also be a meeting between the representatives of the angels, devils and Azazel. Apparently there is something Azazel wants to talk about. I heard that maybe Azazel would be apologizing about Kakabiel then. Though it's suspicious if Azazel would apologize. But Yu says it with disgust while she shrugged her shoulder. So the governor of the fallen angels is someone with a huge ego, but isn't it something big that the representatives of the three sides would be gathering? I don't know what they would be talking about then, but it seems like it would affect the future of the supernatural world. We were also invited to that meeting. We have to report about the incident at the meeting because we were involved. I nodded, understanding the situation, but I wasn't shocked towards it, but by Butchu's words. Everyone had a shocked expression on their faces. I looked towards Zenovia and wanted to ask her something. The Vanishing Dragon belongs to the side of the fallen angels, right? That's right. Azazel is gathering sacred gear possessors who has a Longinus. I don't know what he is thinking, but it's definitely something not good. The Vanishing Dragon is the top fighter among them. I heard that he is the fourth or fifth strongest out of all the strong people there, including the leaders of Grigori. At this point, he is far stronger than you, who is his rival. Fourth strongest, huh? That's why he was able to defeat Kakabiel with ease. Zenovia then looks at Asia. That's right. I will apologize to Asia Argento. Since God didn't exist, then his love and help didn't as well. I'm sorry, Asia Argento. Hit me much as you want. Zenovia bows her head down. The Japanese way of apologizing. Her expression didn't change, so I can't tell if she means it or not. No, I don't intend to do something like that. Zenovia-san, I'm enjoying my current lifestyle. Even though I'm a devil now, I met people who are important to me. I am happy because of the place I live in now and the people I have met. Asia smiles like the Virgin Mary, and she forgives her. Her psychological state was a danger after hearing the rejection of God, but because Butchu and I were with her, she returned to normal. So only you and I are the only Christians that found out about the absence of God. I won't be able to say something like a divine punishment to you now. So heretic, huh? I was a holy sword user who was admired, but now a heretic, huh? I can't forget about how their eyes and attitudes changed when they saw me. At that moment, it felt like I saw a glimpse of sadness in Zenovia's eyes. Then I will be leaving. There's a lot of things I need to know about before transferring to this school. Zenovia tries to leave the room. Asia stops Zenovia. On the next weekend I'm going to go out to play with everyone. Would you also like to join, Zenovia-san? Asia says it with a smile. Zenovia had widened her eyes in shock and then gave a bitter smile. Next time then. This time I'm not interested. Except. Zenovia then says it with a smile to Asia. Can you take me around the school next time? Yes. Asia also answers with a smile. I hope they become friends. It's hard to understand her, but Zenovia doesn't seem like a bad person. I will swear it in the name of my holy sword, Durandal. I also would like to have a battle with the holy demonic sword user over there as well. Alright. I won't lose next time. Fibo also replied with a smile. After confirming that, Zenovia leaves the room. I can feel something strong from Kiba's body along with confidence. That time in that place, that incident changed something inside him. Butchu claps her hand. Now. Since everyone has returned again, let's start the club activity again. Yes. Everyone replies with an energetic voice. That day, all of us laughed again. After that I was by myself outside of the occult research club building, taking in deep breaths and summoning the Kishimi and practicing my form of swings, feeling someone staring at me. Izuku, if you want to spar with me, all you had to do was ask Kiba. When I saw Kiba, who was surprised that he was caught, he came and summoned his sword of betrayal. Kiba, well, since I've been caught, how about it? I want to see how far you've reached in your swordsmanship. All I could do was smirk, and with that the two of us exchanged blows of precision without blades, while smiles on our faces. Kiba, there's no doubt about it, you really are a different person, Ice-kun. Chapter 48. Izuku's Pav. Let's grasp it, J. Dragon Ball J. In the karaoke room. I'm singing an anime song while holding the microphone in one hand, giving my best with my vocal capabilities. Yo Dragon Ball idiot. Damn it, you should just be with Asia, you damn brute. Motohama and Mitsuda continues to boo at me, but I didn't care, all that mattered was me enjoying it while having a smile on my face. Asia also seems like she's enjoying it. Though Kaneko isn't participating in singing and is eating ice cream and pizza. With Kiryu who is still choosing her song. Tiba was drinking his coffee with elegance. Bruising the day off, just like we had planned, started to play for half a day. We met up at the front of the station. Motohama, Kiryu and I beat up Mitsuda who came 30 minutes late and went straight to bowling. We wasted our stamina by playing 4 games of bowling and then went inside the karaoke box. And we have been singing endlessly since then as the song changes. Asia and Kiba haven't sung yet, but I will make them do so afterwards. Maybe sing a duet with either one of them would be nice, but the outfit that Asia was wearing was a gothic Lolita outfit. It did made her look cute, but the reason she wore it was because of Kiryu. Honestly, I don't know what to say to this spectacle girl, just hope she doesn't take things too far. If she does, well, I'll think of something. I'll start with reciting some prayer hymns. Asia seems like she will say that, but if she does that, then Kiba, Kaneko and I who are devils will die, so please don't. I invited Saji, but he declined it while crying and saying, Kaichu forbids me from playing with the opposite hex. He must have wanted to come, it must be strict being a servant of Kaichu. I just sighed, maybe ogling to their council quarters will let me see how they operate. I drink a sip of a juice to clear my dry throat after singing. Rias and Akeno who haven't come today are enjoying shopping together. Previously, I received a photo via message that had currently picking a swimsuit. I will choose the one that you will like with a heart mark. It was a photo sent from the changing room. I couldn't help but blush seeing the photo. Oh yeah, the pool is about to open soon. According to Rias, we can use the day off to play as much as we want at the pool. Apparently she will show me her swimsuit then. Akeno as well. I senpai. There is blood dripping from your nose. Kaneko says that with a reproachful look. I wiped away the blood from my nose, but I said my fate. You were thinking something lewd, right? Izuku, oh well, boya. The size of the thing in your crotches. Izuku, hey, quit it with you measuring my me. Were you thinking about Butchu-san? Asia says that with an unpleasant face. Lately she is starting to become really sharp. Haha, it's nothing, I have to visit the washroom for a bit. I stand up from my seat and left the scene. As I was exiting, I saw Kiba who is sitting on a nearby chair. Oh. Did something happen? Yeah. Something did. I also sit on the chair next to Kiba. I'm so tired. I got too carried away. Seems like we were too excited in the first bowling game. That's also a part of it. Both of us laugh at this normal conversation. Then Kiba speaks with a serious face. Ice-kun. I wanted to give you my gratitude. Thank you. All I did was give him a smile. It's alright. Your comrades also forgave you. But you and the others also forgave you as well. That's why it doesn't matter. Ice-kun. He called my name with tear eyes. I couldn't help but laugh. Izuku let yes. We returned to the karaoke room while talking about casual stuff and take the microphones immediately. We then perform a burning duet. That time I witnessed Kiba's true smile. Later that day, the photo of the duet between me and Kiba that was taken by Kiryu got spread around the whole school. The rumor of me and Kiba being gay increased even more. I knew it. I looked at Kiryu with a serious look on my face and karate chopped her on the head, making her whine at the impact, but I didn't know that she was having a small blush on her face. Right now I'm trying not to lose it and set myself loose. The reason why is because of 2 people who are inside the bath. Alright, Asia, your skin is beautiful. I am jealous. And no way. But your skin is white and the texture is smoother. Ifufu, your words make me happy. While speaking in front of me, the crimson and golden-haired Bishoujo were standing and washing themselves, covered with foam from the body soap. That's right, both Rias and Asia are inside the bath, both naked the day they were born. To better explain the situation, when I went to the shower, I met Asia while she was in the middle of undressing. Sorry, after apologizing, while I was trying to go outside. Ice, you're going to bathe as well. Asia as well. I met Butchu who was trying to enter the bath. Since you 2 seem like you want to bathe together, it would be much faster if all 3 of us entered. And just like that, we entered the bath. As I stare at their naked bodies, they didn't seem to be embarrassed. I tried taking calming breaths while staring at the ceiling of the bath, not hearing the sounds of Drake or Toshinori, not even Nana, which is good cause at least she's calmed down, but then I heard the voice of someone entering into the changing room with a splash. I heard something entering. Clack. Weight was pressing on my body and the finest, softest sensation was stimulating my skin and my body was getting hot. I turned to see Rias was inside the bathtub leaning on my body, the feeling of her breast pressing close to me. I wanted to enter the bath with ice like this once. With a smile on her face, she was pressing her body even more. The scent of the shampoo from her hair was nice. The touch from her body was getting me too stimulating that I likely reach it. Hey Ice. Do you hate entering the bath with me? Izuku, if I'm being honest, having you here in the bath is really relaxing that I might just want to stay here with you. Looking at Asia, she seemed to be working on washing her body, but sometimes she would send sharp glances towards me. Just by hearing that I am happy. I want to bathe with ice cum like this every day. As if spoiling me, she presses further onto me. I couldn't hold it and turned around so I can face her while getting close to her neck that it made her blush. Izuku, you've set the mood so thoroughly, Rias, that I might not withstand it. I stared to give her small kisses to her neck, making her squirm from my touch. She then looked me in the eyes. Then how about once every 3 days? Or once every 5 days? I won't like it if it's only once a week. I can only chuckle. Izuku, really now? Do you want to attack me? She spoke as if she had seen through my heart. I got even closer to her, feeling her heart beating faster. If Asia wasn't here, I may have been attacked, seems like, during our time alone. Open. While she was saying that, something vigorously entered the bathtub. And the feeling of something embracing me making me turn to see it was Asia. I hate being left out, even though I want to enter the bath together as well. I couldn't help but lose the color of my eyes, with my eyes being shadowing by my hair. Ria's face changed into a sharp expression. She raised her eyebrows. Get away, Asia, since it's this situation, I will say it clearly. This boy is mine. My family and my servant. He's my ice. Understood? Unfortunately, that's the case. I am her servant. For her I exist solely as a pet. Just as one would for a pet, she puts in quite the effort. Though, it might be that all devil girls are like this. Above all, she hates her things being touched by others. She may forgive another devil for touching me on the outside, but on the inside, I have heard that she can't bear it, especially if it is a girl. It goes above her limits. I guess I am just part of her best collection. Since I possess a power beyond rare, she probably wants to treat me preciously, but that's not it. She wants to treat me more than her servant, and I feel the same way. That may be true. But he's my Isan as well. Asia adored me as well. When I was taking an afternoon nap in my room, without me realizing it, she sneaked in and slept soundly next to me. When I woke her up and told her, go back to your room and sleep, she said with a sleepy face, carry me to my room. That's how much she adores me. However, while I am talking to other girls, she often puffs out her cheeks. I guess it's because she doesn't want me to be taken by others. Upon hearing Asia's words, Butchu narrowed her eyes. The small bathtub was becoming a war zone for the two girls, but I didn't do anything, waited to see how this will escalate. Asia, it's because you're normally adored by ice. At least hand over these times to me. I am healed just by being with ice. It takes away my daily exhaustion too. Butchu was trying to slightly separate Asia from me, but Asia was stubbornly clinging to me. No, I am holding it in too. I also want to be with Isan. Asia shook her head sideways and hugged me tightly. Asia looked at me with hazy eyes as if she wanted to tell me something. Don't look at me with those eyes. I will only want to care for you even more and might devour you. Even though she didn't say anything, Butchu's face twitched. Suddenly she took my hand and, boing, she placed my hand on her boobs. My fingers and palm felt an extreme softness with my hand massaging her boobs, but Ria's wasn't complaining. Has Asia done such a thing? Mine and Isa's relationship is such that we can do these things. While watching the scene, Asia's whole body was shaking. Her cheeks swelled and puffed as her temper reached its limit. Asia also took my other hand. Boing. She placed it on her breasts too. The strings in my mind was getting close to being snapped. Isan, between mine and Butchu's, whose breasts are better? I lose in size, but I won't lose in anything else. Ice loves bigger ones. He has said many times that he loves my breasts, right Ice? While I held my hands on their breasts, those two were sending sparks off at each other. Until I removed my hands from their breast and got up from the tub and grabbed them around their waist. Hey, Isan, hold on. But I didn't listen and was aching towards my room while having my eyes glowing red. Izuku, I'll be enjoying the both of you with satisfaction. This caused them to be quiet and having blushes on their faces. Inside my room, the sounds of moaning, the movement inside was all that was heard in the night. Nobody's pav. He can feel it, remembering what he truly is capable of. Looking towards his rival, he stood up from the ground with his body covered with injuries and his blood spilling out from the open wounds, and hearing the shouts of his friends, but when he turned towards them, he just smiled and looked towards the one he was fighting. Izuku, Vali, you said if I got stronger you would take me seriously. Well, knows the day, you son of a bitch. But that Izuku held onto his left arm on the item he got from Azazel, feeling something inside of it and screaming. This caused his posted gear to answer his emotion, sending out an aura of red and green, causing the change on his balance breaker. The thrusters on his back were no more, instead revealed his devil wings, but they were completely different. Instead of the black color alone, it had a hint of red, and with that he gained more than one pair of wings, which are 6 wings, along with 4 dragon wings that that showed a crimson-like color with his helmet, gaining more of a dragonic look along with his armor. Izuku, still feeling the unknown power, reached out for it and getting closer until Izuku full, cowling balance breaker. Chapter 49. Izuku's POV. It was the next day and I was hurrying towards a client using full cowling late in the night, performing the duties of a devil. It was a crazy day involving both Rias and Asia, and right now with the body of someone who hasn't had the experience of losing his virginity, it was epic. But the way it led to them enjoying the pleasure, the noises we made, I almost felt bad that they dealt with my libido, and it also seems Rias likes to attend to me like she does to her servants, maybe even more, and Asia thinks of me as her family. Wait, maybe she might misunderstand that term. Oh crap, she might have already misunderstood it already before attending school. I'll think about that later. Right now I have to work, and with that I landed to where my business as a devil is, and my service to the customers is going well too. Yo, devil-kun. Sorry for today as well. After looking at the client, I let out a sigh. The client was a tall man appearing to be in his 20s with an average build, black hair, golden bangs and black goatee, and he was wearing a yukata with him summoning me every day. Right now I am in his room inside his mansion. And the person he decided upon was me. Somehow he seems to like me. I don't know why he likes me, and even though he never has large requests, he calls me every day. Yesterday he made me go buy bread in the night, and before that, he said let's go fishing and had me accompany him to a nearby fishing spot. We had a time to relax while enjoying the sound of the water, but I was confused if this was like to help a customer as a devil, but it seems like considering the business is to fulfill a human's request. Devil-kun, would you play a game with me? I bought a racing game in the afternoon, and I'm lonely without an opponent. All I could do was smile awkwardly at that. Oh yes, of course. Honestly, this is a good customer for contracts. He gives back more than what we demand. He started from a painting that looked high class, and then jewels, and then even gold nuggets. Even Rias and the others were surprised. Thanks to him, it's no doubt that my value is growing as well. Well, I guess I am thankful to him for that. Alright, let's handle this easily today as well and go one step further on the road to becoming harem king. The client was setting up the game. Oh yeah, he hasn't even told me his name yet. Maybe I'll be his favorite customer from now on as well. Learning his name is obvious then. Alright, I have set up the game. It's great to have so many items to waste time on in Japan. It isn't a bad place. Here, take the controller. Ah, thanks. You know I am good in these types of games. In that case it's going to be fun. I am a beginner, so please go lightly on me. Yes, I am good at racing games. Top Speed Legend Ice, from what his memory served, I have played at every game center. Oh, and although I started off well, my lead began to fall short as the races continued. In the beginning, I had developed my overwhelming advantage, but I briefly remember now. I should be catching up to you soon. What crap was he sprouting while thinking that? Ooh, oh, no way. My car was slowly being surpassed. What an unbelievable situation. Win. He easily made it to the goal, but I don't give up that easily. Seems like it's my victory, devil-kun. Not yet. Oh, your fighting spirit seems to be growing. Want to do another race? Devil-kun no sekurute. The words that came out of the man's mouth. Upon hearing that, a chill went down my whole body that it led me to jump back and summon Nikishimi while having a serious look on my face, because right now the scent I'm smelling right now, the smell of a bird that's close to this man. I pointed my sword at him with a glare on my face. Who are you? The man only opened his mouth a bit. While watching the TV, he revealed. Azazel, leader of the fallen angels. Nice to meet you, the Sekurute. Hi do say. When far away from the goal, the man's car easily caught up with my stopped car and went past the goal while in his second lap. That instant, 12 jet black wings expanded from the man's back. Now that I heard his name, I released my hold on my katana, making form back to black tendrils and deactivated. Azazel, well, now that your hostility is gone for a while, how about we tlack for a bit supernatural to supernatural, huh? He said this with a smile on his face to me. I just sighed and only nodded my head with it. The two of us continued playing the game while talking. Later at the Orc, I walked towards the building while having a headache. Izuku, damn, I just hope I don't deal with any more surprises. Dragon, what sort of surprise were you hoping, partner? Izuku, the kind where I can relax and not deal with someone coming after my head. Ashinori, but young Midoriya, what about the joy of finally losing your V card? Izuku, it has been extinguished, but I can do it again, just not now. Having that conversation with the leader of the fallen angels really drained me. Drag, is it possible? Izuku, what's possible, Drag? Drag, is it possible you might get to see those three fallen angels again, partner? They might share a bit of your heart after all you've spared them. Izuku, all I can say is that wherever they are, I just hope they made a difference after Asia was okay. That's all I said in my mind and went closer to door where the president and the others are located. Once I opened the door and they saw my expression, I went ahead. I told them my encounter with my client. Chapter 50. Izuku's POV. This isn't a joke. The crimson-haired Bishoujo-sama had her eyebrows raised with an angry expression on her face. While she had that angry expression, she was laying my head on her lap while ruffling up my hair. It was nice, but it seems Asia was giving a look of jealousy, even though I have my eyes closed. Either way, we have changed into our summer uniforms, and they're short-sleeved. Indeed, even though it was decided that the meeting of the leaders of the devils, angels, and fallen angels would be held in this town, to think that suddenly the governor of the fallen angels would intrude in my territory and interfere with our business. She said this while trembling in rage. A few days earlier, because of the event that occurred in the city between devils, angels, and fallen angels, the relations between the three factions had been affected to a certain extent. As a result, the leading members of each faction would gather together and discuss the future. We got involved in that incident, but to top it off, we would have to be present at that meeting and report on the details of the incident. Before the meeting date, Azazel suddenly contacted us. Yes, he too was my contract client. He hid his identity and presence when he came into contact with us. It's correct to say that it was an interference in other people's business. Not to mention, since it was the governor of the fallen angels, the topic escalated to an entirely different level. It wouldn't end with just mischief. However, it seems Ria's family seemed like they weren't bothered by the event. And to top it off, to try and lay a hand on my cute ice, the price is death. I had heard that Azazel was extremely interested in the sacred gears. It's definitely because my ice possesses the boosted gear that he came in contact with us. It's going to be alright, Ice. I will definitely protect you, Ice. She said that while patting my head. Seems like Azazel is eyeing my sacred gear after all. He's the governor of the fallen angels, right? I wonder what he'll do to me when he does. I was a bit worried, so after hearing about my worries, the other male member of the club, the handsome Prince Kiba, opened his mouth. I heard from someone that Azazel has deep knowledge about the sacred gears. I also heard that he's gathering capable sacred gear holders. But it's going to be alright. As he continued, Kiba looked at me as if he was going to lose me. I will protect you. Honestly, I couldn't help but laugh. I appreciate that, Kiba, and I am happy, but how should I put this? If someone else besides hear such things from a man with a straight face, then they'll be troubled on how to respond. It's obvious that I'll say that with a straight face. You saved me. You're my precious comrade. If I can't save a comrade from crisis, then I can't call myself a knight of the Gremory household. Yeah, I understand that, but you know. Your tone isn't to be used towards a comrade, a friend, and not to mention the male me. It's obvious you said that to a heron. Without caring about that, Kiba continues. There's no problem. My sacred gear that attained balance breaker and ice kun's boosted gear, if we combine these two, then I feel we can surpass even a dangerous crisis. Phew, I wasn't the type to say such things before. After hanging out with you, my readiness for comrades also changed as well. But I don't know why I don't dislike that it's hot around my chest region. I don't how to feel about that, Kiba. Seriously, it's dating to get weird, man. You and I are just gonna be spreading around indecent rumors among a particular group of girls. I don't want to be any more involved with you and the development of BL. And anyways, this guy, after the episode of the invasion of the fallen angel leader was resolved, his attitude towards me has been different lately. What do you plan on doing by sweetening me? Do it with your clients, not me. And no way, Ice Kun. You sure get down easily. Unnecessary feelings are bad for you, and why do you really want to be here? However, I wonder what happened besides not knowing their movements. It's difficult to move here as well. The other side is the governor of the fallen angels. We can't even come in contact with him. Butchu is pondering. We can't break down the relationship between devils and fallen angels any further on our whims. Since Butchu is quite strict about that topic, if there is no big movement from their side, then we won't move as well. Azazel has always been like that, Riaz. Suddenly, we heard a voice that belonged to nobody among us. Everybody looked at the direction the voice came from, and a crimson-haired male was smiling pleasantly. I remember this face. Wait, Akeno-san and the others were kneeling in their places. Asia and I were the only ones having trouble coping with the situation. The newcomer, Zenobia, as well had a confused expression. Oh, Ani-sama, she let out a surprised voice. Yes, he is Butchu's Ani-sama and the current Mao of the Devil Society, Surzich's Lucifer-sama. Azazel won't do anything like Akabiel did a few days ago. He may do a prank like last time, though. The governor will come earlier than the planned date, is what Mao-sama said. Behind Mao-sama there was the silver-haired maid, Grafia-san, as well. I also hurriedly, like Akeno-san and the others, kneeled down. After looking at my actions, Asia also copied it. Please relax, I came for private business today. Raise your heads, it's okay to not be so respectful, is what he was suggesting. Everyone obeyed that and stood up. Hey, my little sister. This room seems like a murder scenery. I wonder how it is possible for this place to be full of magic circles, even though young girls gather here. While surveying the room, Mao-sama is giving a bitter smile. Meh, it's indeed true. I got used to it, but this really is a weird room after all. Ani-sama, why are you here? Butchu asked doubtfully. Well, that was a given. It was not really possible for the Mayu-sama who carries the Devil Society to show up in the human world in a school's club room. After she said that, Mayu-sama handed over an unfilled printed form. What are you saying? Classroom visits are coming soon, right? I am also thinking to participate. By all means, I want to see my little sister working hard in studies from up close. Ah, now that you mention it, the school's visit was really close. My father was also in high spirits, so much that he was even planning on taking a paid leave to come visit. Whatever, he seems to want to see Asia's class life more than mine. After getting a daughter, my parents have been making a ruckus like it's a festival every time something occurs. Grafia, right. You're the one who told Ani-sama. Wait a minute, Grafia-san responds to the troubled-looking Butchu immediately. Yes, the reports from the school come to me who has been entrusted with the schedule of the Gremory household. Of course I am Surzich's-sama's queen as well, thus I reported it to my master. After hearing that, Butchu sighed. Huh. Butchu isn't interested in the class visit. Does she dislike her family coming to look at her? Even if my Mayu duties are hard, even if I have to take a day off from my work, I wanted to participate in my little sister's class visit. Don't worry. Otu will come over as well. That's not true, isn't Ani-sama the Mayu? To leave your job and come here, the Mayu can't treat a single devil in a special way. I see, since Butchu's Ani-san is the Mayu, no matter if they are blood relatives, she can't take it nicely that she's being treated specially. However, Mayu turns his head sideways. No, this is my work as well, Rias. Actually, I thought about conducting the conference between the three factions in this school. I came to inspect the meeting place. Seriously? I couldn't hide my surprise. No, not only me, everyone looked shocked. Here? Really? Butchu has her eyes wide open as well. Well, if you hear that, you'll try and confirm once more. Ah, this school somehow seems to have fate tied to it. My little sister, you, the legendary Sekiryuite, the holy devil sword user, the holy sword Durandal's wielder and Mayu Serapho Leviathan's little sister are attached to this place. Kakabiel and Hacker Yuku attacked this place. This is a phenomenon you can't label as coincidence. Strong powers keep mixing in, it's like wave motion. I think the person accelerating this wave motion is Haidu Issei-kun the Sekiryuite. Surzich's-sama glances at me, which made me curious. Are you the Mayu? Nice to meet you, I am the one called Zenobia. The one who intervened in the conversation is the girl with her hair in green mesh, the newcomer devil, Zenobia. At first glance she's a real beauty, but she's not just all looks, she's the wielder of the legendary holy sword, Durandal, Butchu's newest family member and her other knight. Good day to you, Zenobia. I am Surzich's Lucifer. I got the report from Rias. The holy sword wielder of Durandal got reincarnated as a devil, and not to mention becoming my sister's family. Truth be told, I was doubting my ears when I heard it the first time. I also didn't think that I would become a devil. To be reincarnated into the side I kept on killing, even if I say so myself, I sometimes regret it, and that it was quite a bold move. Yeah, that's it. Why did I become a devil? Desperation. However, at that time, truthfully, anything was fine, but was it really fine to be a devil? Ah, she's once again thinking deeply with her head in her arms. This girl says bold things, but she ends up regretting it later on. She's a hard to understand girl like always. Ahaha, it's great that my little sister's family has a lot of interesting people. Zenobia, since you were just reincarnated, you won't understand your own way, but I want you to support the Gremory household as Ria's family. I'll be counting on you. If I am asked by the legendary Mayu written in the Bible to do it, then I'll have no choice but to do it. I don't know how much I'll be able to do, but allow me to do whatever I can in my capability. After hearing Zenobia's words, Mayu-sama smiles. That smile was exactly the same as Butchu's. Thanks. After hearing Mayu-sama's thanks, Zenobia's cheeks also became a bit red. Now then, let's continue the difficult conversation somewhere else. However, even though I came to the human world, it's nighttime. Would a lodging institution be open right now? What would a lodging institution be? It may be open, but it would take time to search for such a thing. Then the thing I was thinking in my mind, I raised my hand and said it with a musicer on my face that didn't feel right with Ria's. Ah, if that's the case then. Chapter 51, Izuku's POV. I see. I am relieved that my sister wasn't causing you any trouble. No way, Ani-san. Ria-san is a really good girl. Yes, Ria-san is such a wonderful girl that Ice doesn't deserve her. In my house's living room, the legendary Mayu-sama and my parents were exchanging greetings. Butchu was besides Mayu-sama. Behind him was Grafia-san waiting on standby. After that, I gave a suggestion. If that's the case, would you stay in my house, is what I said. At first Mayu-sama was circling his eyes, but maybe after remembering that Butchu was living in my house, that's fine with me. I wanted to greet the couple whose place my sister was boarding in, is what he said, and readily consented. No, Butchu was resisting cutely, but there's no way you can stop both Mao-sama and Grafia-san. After the devil business was completed, we came here to the Haidu household. Your red face is so cute. You would naturally be scared of what your brother, who's also the Mao, would say. For the time being, regarding Surzucha-sama's personal info, we made it that he's Butchu's Ani-san and is the heir to the company Butchu's father runs. He's Surzucha's Gremory. After using the name he threw away long ago once more, Surzucha-sama seemed to be having fun. The maid sent over there is, yes, she's Grafia. Mao-sama answers my father's question. Actually she's my wife. Everyone except Butchu let out gasps, but Grafia-san was expressionlessly pinching Mao-sama's cheek. I am the maid, Grafia. I apologize for my master speaking such boring jokes. It hurts, Grafia. The angry yet quiet Grafia-san and the teary-eyed smiling Mao-sama. Butchu who was beside them covered her face with her hands from embarrassment. Ah, Butchu's family seems to be interesting. Who would have thought that the Mao-sama would say jokes like this? Since Grafia-san seems to be accustomed to this as well, Mao-sama must be doing mischief frequently. Well then, Gremory-san, would you be attending the class visit as well? Mother asks Mao-sama with him rubbing his cheek where he was pinched. Yes, I have taken a break from work, so I thought I could use this chance to see my little sister's school and also how she looks in class. On the day of the visit, my father should be coming as well. Ah, Ria-san's Otu-san as well. Father helped in the establishment of Ku Academy, like me, it seems this was a good chance for him to come visit as well. Although frankly speaking I think he just wanted to see Ria's face. Gremory-san, would you like some sake? We have some delicious sake of Japan. Otu-san brings out a treasure bottle like sake from the kitchen. Otu-san suddenly taking out the sake. However, in response to my anxieties, Mao-sama lets out a smile. That is excellent, let's drink it by all means, since Japanese alcohol goes down well with a capable mouth. Mao-sama was much friendlier than you would imagine. No way, I can't sleep together with ice. The fun party was over and it was time to sleep. In front of my room, Butchu was approaching Mao-sama with a strict face. I wanted to talk with him a bit while being on the bed. Sorry, Rias, but just for tonight lend me Haidu issei-kun. I see. Mao-sama wants to sleep while talking with me, he's already placed the futon for guests in the room. Butchu who sleeps with me every night in my bed. She seems to be completely sad from not being able to sleep with me. Yeah, like her love to her servant ends here. It seems like it's mean to Butchu like a little girl's stuffed doll which she uses when sleeping gets taken. It's too cute. I get used by Butchu as a hugging pillow, Asia too not wanting to be defeated hugs me as well. I have been making wonderful memories every night, but beyond that it hasn't developed, maybe because it feels like it's family love. Butchu says that she has an illness, that if she doesn't sleep with me she'll die. Asia says if she doesn't have me by her side like usual she gets sad and hates it. Does hugging me feel good? That reminds me, recently Mitsuda told me, amidst shedding tears. I smell Asia-chan scent from ice, what's the meaning of this? Well that's a given. Because we sleep together every day. It's not strange even if I give out Asia's scent. I reply ambiguously to that, but wouldn't strange rumors be spreading amongst some boys? Fufu, no doubt the boys from my class think I have graduated from my virginity. It's best you think that it isn't bad that they think that, though I haven't been able to graduate. If this was Kiba or some other guys, would they have already slept with Butchu? No, that's not true. Even though it's this wonderful situation, there is a proper order for things. For me to skip the order and attack Butchu is, if you look at it from guts, you're not the Red Dragon Emperor, but the Red Virgin Emperor, partner. Suddenly, the one who says that is Drag. Shut up, leave me alone. In the meantime I will do eki things with Butchu and you just keep on looking from there. Ice. The one who hugs me is Butchu. Ooh, I am happy, but in front of two people having this done, I am seriously embarrassed. At school she's the cold and cool Butchu, but recently at home she's like this. It resembles an office lady who can accomplish anything calmly, but when she goes back home, in front of her pet she becomes like a kid. Can you sleep alone? Are you alright with me not being beside you? I am not alright though. Just by you not being beside me. Oju-sama, now let's return back to our room. I will be there in your room as well. Well then, Surzucha-sama, good night. Grafia-san takes away Butchu who was saying something. Butchu went away from my body. I know, Grafia. Butchu's shape seems as if she's regretting it. That scene looks like a scene where the parent and child have to get separated. I-san, good night. I also think it's unfortunate, but tonight I'll sleep in my room. Slightly bowing her head, Asia headed off towards her room while keeping her smile on. The only two left were me and Mao-sama. Now, shall we enter inside? Oh of course. While I was trying to prepare myself to sleep together with him while having never had a proper conversation before, the lights were switched off and I was beside him. I heard you met Azazel. Mao-sama said that to me. Yes, I acknowledged to that obediently. I hear he did nothing to you, but did he say something to you? I'll meet you again next time is what he said. I see. Azazel has a strong interest in the sacred gears. Your boosted gear is no exception. Actually, same as you, a person possessing the Longinus has gathered alongside him. For what purpose, I don't know that. But, Azazel is the governor of an organization with the power to affect heaven, underworld and the human world. If he uses that, it will span a lot of digression. However, he doesn't like war like Kakabiel does. It's because of that the fallen angels were the first to withdraw from the great war of the past. Yeah, to be honest, I don't want to have another owner other than Ria's. I mean, I can't even go to that place. If I get forcibly brainwashed, then what will I do? As if realizing my concern, Mao-sama speaks in an enjoyable tone. Don't worry. I guarantee your safety. Finally, the legendary dragon came to the devil's side, so I'll have them give you a good treatment. And also my little sister treats you dearly. I've never seen Rias have so much fun, even in the underworld. I am sure she must be having fun every day. I feel that it is thanks to you. This person must really care for Butchu from his heart. I felt his words just now were overflowing with deep affection. Haidu Issei-kun. Take care of my sister, of Ria's, from now on too. Yes, I made a promise that I'll be there for her no matter what. Thanks. Oh yeah, Haidu Issei-kun. Is it alright for me to call you Ice-kun like my little sister does? Oh, of course it's an honor. I see. Then, Ice-kun, won't you call me by my name? Ani-san is fine as well. It's rude after all is what I feel. Would calling you Surzich's-sama be alright? Then, let's do it that way. Yeah, however, it's a pity. I wanted to be called Ani-san by the legendary dragon. Meh, it will become that before long, so it should be fine with this for now. Hud. Seems like Surzich's-sama somehow came to a self-conclusion. I don't get what he's thinking, but since he's the Mao-sama it must be a high-level anguish. By the way, Ice-kun. Why yes, the boosted gear can transfer the increased power to someone else. Yes, that's true. The topic's different, but you seem to like the big breasts of girls, right? Yes, I love them. I affirmed it in a loud voice in front of Surzich's-sama. I just groaned to judge admitting my desires. Even as her brother I think that Ria's breasts are bountiful. I didn't say anything else. If I did there's no telling how my mind play out the amount of scenarios. This is a what if question, but if you transfer your increased power from your boosted gear to Ria's breasts, what will happen? Meh, don't worry about it. That moment, a shock never before felt in me was born. My mind had two voices, the one of my past to current me, and right now my current self was strongly winning, and my thoughts were filled with nothing but wonder. Use boosted gear on Butchu's boobs. No, but that concept wasn't present. Gift to boobs to transfer the power of Sekiruite on boobs. That is, what exactly would happen if that occurs? I can't imagine it, I can't predict it. Damn it, Mao-sama's thought level is far above mine while conceptualizing power. Would the size simply increase? It can't be, that beautiful pair would be able to even wrap around national treasure level items. No, would they shine while stretched? I don't know. Good night, Ice-kun. While Surzich's-sama went to sleep beside me, I was endeavoring the whole night with my delusions without getting an answer that it made my past predecessors of OFA to laugh with Drake laughing as well the whole night. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.